Now this is November 2007, paper 1, question 30. Okay, the question is, what are the properties of bromine? Now first of all, you have to know what is the state of bromine at room temperature and pressure. Now from the mind map is clearly stated here that bromine exists as liquid at room temperature and pressure. So bromine is a liquid at room temperature and pressure. What is its color? Reddish brown. So it is a liquid, and that will eliminate A and B. So will there be a reaction when bromine is added to aqueous potassium iodide? Now when bromine is added to potassium iodide, your bromine, okay, the formula for bromine is Br2. Potassium iodide, potassium is K, iodide is I, so it's Ki. Now this one, will there be a reaction? Now this one you have to compare the reactivity of the halogen. Bromine and iodine, which one is more reactive? Bromine is more reactive. Why? Because according to the mind map again, if you go down the group, the reactivity decreases. So bromine is here, iodine is here, bromine is here. So bromine should be more reactive than iodine. Now when bromine is more reactive than iodine, what will happen is bromine will kick iodine out from potassium iodide. So what you get is KBr plus I2. Okay, so there will be reaction for this when the bromine and potassium iodide are added together. And of course this chemical equation is not balanced, but we don't need a balanced chemical equation for this question. So there will be reaction, so the answer is C. Let's go to the next question. Now this question is November 2008, paper 1, question 12. Now the table contains 4 elements and their atomic numbers W, X, Y, Z, and which 2 elements are in the same group of the periodic table? Which 2 elements are in the same group of the periodic table? So you just have to try and error. You have to look at the atomic, try to locate these 4 elements in the periodic table. Okay, so the first element is element W. The atomic number is 7. So where is 7? Okay, let's look at the periodic table. Now the periodic table is kind of big. Alright, so 7, atomic number 7. Atomic number is the bottom number, so it's nitrogen. Okay, the next element is X, which is 14. So 14 is here, is silicon. And then the next element is Y, which the atomic number is 15. 15 is here. So far none of the elements, so far these 2 elements are in the same group, I believe, which is W and Y. Okay, so the answer is W and Y. The last element, the atomic number is 18. Where is atomic number 18? Argon. Argon is right here. Okay, so nitrogen and phosphorus, not silicon, is silicon is X, phosphorus is Y. Okay, so W and Y are in the same group. So this question is very simple. All you need to do is to locate the elements in the periodic table and see which 2 elements are in the same group. Now let's look at the next question. The next question is November 2008, paper 1, question, can't see the question, question 13. Now which of these group 1 elements react most violently with water? Now group 1 elements, how is the reactivity of group 1 elements? Again, when you look at the mind map, you can see that group 1 element, what happened to it? Reactivity increases as you go down the group, because as you go down the group the atoms become bigger and bigger, so it's easier for the valence electron to be lost, meaning that it's easier for it to react, meaning that the reactivity increases. So as you go down the group, reactivity increases. So which one is the most bottom in group 1 among these 4 elements? So the most bottom one, of course, it is cesium. Okay, how do I know it's cesium? Again, from the periodic table, cesium is right here. We don't have francium among the options. We only have rubidium, cesium. So the most bottom, the most the lowest element in this group 1 is actually cesium. So the answer is A, cesium. Okay, this question is from November 2009, paper 1, question 12. How many electrons and protons are in an ion of an element in group 6 of the periodic table? Now, group 6 of the periodic table, okay, as I mentioned many times, group 6 means 6 valence electron. 6 valence electron means that it needs to take in 2 electrons to become 8 to be stable. So the ion that is formed by this element should be 2 minus because it takes in 2 electrons. So the ion should be 2 minus. For example, the element is X. So the ion of this element will be X2 minus. Now X2 minus also means that there are 2 more electrons compared to the protons. So the electrons should have 2 more electrons compared to the protons. Now let's look at all this. So which one, the number of electrons is 2 more than the number of protons? Okay, this one cannot be the same. Okay, if they are the same, that means it must be neutral. But the question wants ion. Okay, so this one cannot be, because it cannot be an ion. Number of protons and electrons are the same. Now how about this? Number of electrons 2 more than protons. Yes, possible, because this would give you a 2 minus, an ion with 2 minus charge, 2 negative charge. How about this? Number of protons more than the number of electrons. If the number of protons is more than the number of electrons, it should be a positive ion. It cannot be a negative ion. What we want now is a negative ion. So the only 2 possible answers would be A and C. Okay, so A and C both are possible to be an ion of an element in group 6. Now we have to double check how do you eliminate one of this. So you have to double check number of protons 6. Is it a group 6 element? Again, let's look at the periodic table. Number of protons, which is the bottom number, is 6. Is it in group 6? See, you can see that the first group 6 element is oxygen and the number of protons is 8. If the number of protons is 6, it will be carbon, and carbon is in group 4. So that means this cannot be the answer. Now let's double check this one. Number of protons is 16. So what element is this? Number of protons is 16. Number of protons 16 is sulfur. Sulfur, is it in group 6? Yes, it is in group 6. And it is also an ion with a charge of 2 negative. So that means your answer should be C. Okay? So basically for this question, the first thing you need to do is to find out what do you mean by ion of an element in group 6. So group 6 all the ions must be 2 negative. Then after that, you go and look it up in the periodic table. Which one of these proton numbers are the proton numbers of an element in group 6? And we'll find that this one is not. It's actually this. So for this question, the answer is C.